So James's segment within our piece is based on his transcript, which was about PTSD. He conducted an interview with an ex-veteran who had been in the military and who sort of has ideals about PTSD and who suffers with PTSD. Now, James decided to take inspiration from the Deviates piece Dead Dreams of Monochrome Men, which is about Dennis Nilsen and a character similar to him, and about that story of the murders and how that all happened, and it's a very physical adaptation of it. Now, so within the piece, there is one specific scene where the character of Dennis Nilsen is sat in sort of like a large nappy, smoking a cigarette on a box, and he's at the front of the stage, sort of more stage left, so sort of off of centre left, and then there is a beam of light at the back, so upstage right, and there is a man stood there sort of in this confined space, and Dennis is actually talking. He sort of directs his eyes to the camera, almost as if he's having a conversation, very natural. And in the back, this man is getting more hesitant. He's getting more and more hesitant. The conversation Dennis is having is actually sort of trying to ask someone home, ask someone out after they've been where they are. And the guy in the back is getting more agitated. He's fidgeting more. He's moving around. His movements become more frantic. Now, within that scene, I took that it's sort of portraying this internalized struggle. It's sort of one half the conscious part of the mind and the subconscious, and the subconscious is just that it's struggling. It's got an urge. It needs to do something in order to get rid of this frantic motion. So it's that inner struggle, that conscience telling him something. But on the other side of the stage is just this outer, and that's what we see. That is what everyone sees. But the guy at the back in the beam of light is like his conscience, and it's his subconscious thinking of something else. He's just completely frantic. So his mind is actually thinking completely different to what he's actually saying. Now, in terms of putting it into our work, putting it into James's element of the piece, he looked at this scene aesthetically. So he drew inspiration from it by looking at how he had laid it out compared to how the Dead Dreams of Monochrome Men scene played out, and how effective that was in comparison to his. So me and Sasha are upstage right, and him and Ben are downstage left, and it just shows the proxemics really show the contrast of this me and Sasha's having a conversation with my character, which is just this outer presentation of what other people are seeing of me and my character who struggles with PTSD. But James and Ben, who are downstage left, are showing this internal struggle, that idea of the conscience, the subconscious thinking of something else and struggling and having that thought process. And this really shows the contrast and the dynamics between these two different ideals that you get what you see and you get what you don't see within someone who is struggling with PTSD. My character, James, was inspired by the splitting of the space in the proxemics, and the contrast is clear. It gives you a thought process. While this person is not so much talking, my character doesn't talk a lot, but sort of my eyes wander and I sort of zone out, and it's that thought process behind what is happening in their head, what is going on, and it really does show the portrayal of the effects of PTSD, or one of the effects, sort of being flashbacks and stuff like that. Now, this research and practice, I've put in some pictures of the staging to show how effective that is within the person on the outside and the thought process going on the other side of the stage. So we've got some pictures from all different 3 angles of where the seating is, to see how effective this really is. And it does show the clear split between the 2 different characters. Now, moving on, I think maybe having a video, videoing it and having a look back and seeing how from all angles that really does look, how effective it really does look, because it might look different to someone on the left side, to the right side, to the centre. So that's moving forward.